Hello everyone, so this is GS Mains Paper 2, September 2017, and this is the third part and this will be the last part. Fine, so let's start. Okay, so we have done up until 10th topic, right? So this is the 11th topic, which is Sino-India Ties, right? We have also earlier discussed that it is not called Indochina because Indochina refers to the part of Cambodia, Laos and Vietnam, right? Which was annexed by or which was under the colonial rule of France, right? So Sino-India Ties, and this is a part of topic 15 to 19 IR, International Relations, right? Now let's talk about, see, we have multiple articles and you must have read multiple articles on Sino-India Ties. But why this particular article is important? Because it has been written by Chinese ambassador to India, Luo Zhaohui. I don't know how it is pronounced in China. I'm just pronouncing it like this only. But right, fine. So the thing is, remember one instance when Xi Jinping was called 11 Jinping? So anything can happen because the name are like this, right? So Luo Zhaohui, who is a Chinese ambassador to India, he has written this article and it is a very important article because of that aspect, right? We'll also try to understand what are sister cities, what is meant by sister cities, and treaty of good neighborliness and friendly cooperation. So let's start. So first of all, we all know what are the bad things and what are the hindrances in a China-Sino-India relationship, right? But what are the silver linings? So this Chinese ambassador is talking about the silver linings. So, and he has talked about 4 prominent silver linings. So let's talk about those 4 silver linings, right? So the first thing is, first silver lining or first positive aspect is economic and trade cooperation is gaining momentum, and last year trade volume between China and India exceeded $70 billion. Remember in the previous video only we have discussed about India-China, India-Japan and Japan-China trade. So India-Japan was $13.61 billion, India-China was $71 billion and Japan-China was $279 billion. So that's what Chinese ambassador is also echoing. He's saying that China and India's trade has exceeded $70 billion. Second silver lining and second positive aspect is people to people exchange is thriving and mutual visit between two countries have exceeded 1 million, right? All these data can help you because very few people write data in mains answer. So more and more data you write, so it will create a positive impression, right? What is the third silver lining? So third silver lining is local exchanges is booming and China and India have established 14 pairs of sister cities and provinces, right? What is sister city? Sister city means suppose there are 2 countries and one particular city in one country will promote another city in another country, right? So that is called sister city, more or less, right? So let's take some examples so that it becomes much more clearer. And it's not like, suppose if you take an example of Ahmedabad, so it's not like it will only have one sister city in the whole world. It can have multiple sister cities. So Ahmedabad has Guangzhou as a sister city in China. Similarly, the sister city of Ahmedabad in US is Columbus, which is in Ohio, right? Similarly, the sister city of Delhi is Moscow and it has other sister cities also. So that is the concept of sister city. Fine, so this was the third silver lining. What is the fourth silver lining? We have maintained close level communications, close high level communications, and hometown diplomacy initiated by President Xi and PM Modi has become a much told story. What is hometown diplomacy? Generally, you must have what he said, right? That Xi Jinping, when he came, he went to Gujarat and all those. So that is a hometown diplomacy, right? Now, the thing is, what is the way forward? What these two sides should do according to Chinese ambassador? So he's saying both sides should set long-term goals for the development of our bilateral relations. And again, very important, he's saying that we can consider negotiating treaty of good neighborliness and friendly cooperation between China and India. Why he has specified this particular treaty only? Because this is the treaty which was signed between China and Russia in 2001. Treaty of good neighborliness and friendly cooperation. Just like China has problems with India, it also has lots and lots of problems with Russia, right? So they signed in 2001 Treaty of good neighborliness and friendly cooperation. So he is saying that same thing should happen with India also, and this treaty can help to a certain extent in alleviating lots and lots of concerns which these two countries are having, right? Fine. Now let's move on to the next issue, India-Afghanistan. Multiple articles were written. I have clubbed all of them together. Again, topic 15 to 19 IR. Now we'll talk about what are the things which are happening. So India's plans to expand its security assistance to Afghanistan by training police officers in India as a part of UNDP project, that is United Nations Development Program. UNDP project has a nuanced geopolitical message. So what is India doing? India is training police officers or Afghani police officers in India, right? Fine. And why it has been done? So we want to help Afghanistan, great, but it has another message also. What is that message? Sorry. So it is a clear counter to Pakistan PM SG Abbasi's recent statement that India has zero political and military role in Afghanistan. So it is countering that particular statement as well. Also, India-Afghanistan trade fair is sponsored by USAID. What is USAID? So it is United States Agency for International Development. And what does USAID do? It provides civilian foreign aid. And why does it provide civilian foreign aid? They don't like to do khairat, right? There should be there has to be a motive behind it. So remember, whenever such kind of foreign aid is provided, anybody or any institution, it helps in developing soft power to a certain extent. So US is developing its soft power through these kind of organizations like USAID, right? Fine. We'll talk more about what is soft power, what is hard power, but just understand this. Again, if I want to tell you, soft power helps, like if India is helping African countries in getting cheap medicine, so it will help India some way or the other in different international organizations. Let's per se UN Security Council or other exams, Paris climate change and all those things. So that's why soft power becomes very important. We'll talk more about this because it will keep on coming. Fine. So this is one of the articles. The other article was also written, which was saying that New Delhi is stepping up its development and capacity building engagement with Afghanistan. And what is the example for it? India has decided to take up 116 high impact community development projects in 31 provinces of Afghanistan. So India is taking up 116 high impact community development projects in 31 provinces of Afghanistan. And also, growing India-US convergence on regional and global security issue is a silver lining, both for India as well as for Afghanistan. Fine. So this was about India-Afghanistan relationship. Now let's talk about Saubhagya Scheme and electricity sector. Right? Important from mains point of view, very important from prelims point of view. Scheme. Right? So let's talk about this. And again, see, the thing is, this is topic 10 government policy. You can keep it in infrastructure also, GS3. Why I have not kept it in GS3? Because in GS3, I already have too many points and too many articles to cover. So I have kept it here in topic 10 government policies. There are always certain articles which are overlapping, which can lie in GS1, 2, 3, all of them, right? Fine. I will give you an example. Like in GS1, there is a topic of urbanization, which is again, infrastructure is there in GS3. So there are overlapping topics in different papers. Fine. So let's talk about Saubhagya Scheme and electricity sector. So structural issues of the electricity sector must be tackled to ensure universal access to electricity. Structural reforms. We always keep on talking about structural reforms. Similarly, structural reforms is needed in electricity sector also. We need more than just budgetary fund allocation, which is done by Saubhagya Scheme. So again, it is taking a sarcastic. What do you say? See, generally what happens when you read Hindu, you will realize that Hindu is very leftist, right? So more often than not, it will criticize government. But we don't have to become, too critical of our government, right? Because if you want to become a civil servant, you have to be a part of it, right? So you have to just take certain points from Hindu and, take certain points of Hindu and then try to understand both the positive as well as negative aspects. So let's see. And it is very important to be critical also. Then only you can suggest what is the way forward, right? So again, Saubhagya's other name is Pradhan Mantri Sahaj Bijli Har Ghar Yojana. So again, remember in prelims, I have seen certain papers where they have given the Hindi name of a certain scheme in English. So understand, I will remember both the names. That is Saubhagya and its other name is Sahaj Bijli Har Ghar Yojana. Right? So from that, they have abbreviated it as Saubhagya. So what is the aim of Saubhagya? Saubhagya aims to make electricity accessible to every household by the end of 2018. Remember, 2018. Now, thing is, what are the things? What are the issues which India is facing? So, despite India being a power surplus nation, remember, India is a power surplus nation. Although I don't know whether we are or not, but government they boast that India is a power surplus nation. So we have to say the same. So, despite India being a power surplus nation, power generation utility remains vastly underutilized. And how we are knowing that? But we are knowing that by understanding one component which is called plant load factor. We'll understand what is plant load factor. So plant load factor is an indicator of capacity utilization. So if 100 megawatt is the capacity of certain, let's say certain grid, right? And we are only utilizing 70. So that is the plant load factor. And what is happening? Plant load factor of coal and lignite based plants has dropped consistently from 2009-10 to 2016-17, right? And why it has dropped? Why? Means plant load factor is decreasing or plant is producing less electricity in simple terms. Why? Because of dropping demands of state distribution companies. And why state distribution companies are demanding less? Because they are incurring losses year after year. So that is the whole cycle, right? And also Uday has failed to address the root problem of populism and pricing of electricity, right? We'll make electricity free for farmers, we'll do this and that, we'll reduce the electricity cost. So all these populism things, Uday has failed to address it, and Uday has more or less, you can say, it has not been as successful as it was meant to be. So the thing is, again, all things are pointing that we need to address the fundamentals of India's crippling power problem. Fine. Now let's talk about Parkinson's law. It was a simple thing, a simple two-line which was written in Hindu, and it is important. Why it is important and why I have included it in the role of civil services, you will understand when I will tell you what is Parkinson's law. Right, so Parkinson's law states that work expands so as to fill the time available for its completion. And nobody can understand it more than a civil service aspirant, right? So right now, suppose people who are preparing for 2018, so for them, time is like, they have too much time, so they are studying in that particular way only, 5 hours, 6 hours. But for people who will be giving their mains in 2018, so what will happen? They have less time, so they will be completing more amount of work, right? So the time is same for both, but the work completion thing is more for the people who are preparing for October 2017 as compared to the people who are preparing for June 2018. Same thing is Parkinson's law stating. Parkinson's law is saying that work expands so as to fill the time available for its completion. So we do that much work. Accordingly, like if we see, the thing is, even if we can cover the work or complete the work in less amount of time, if we have more time, we'll do it in that particular amount of time only. And this is used as a criticism against inefficiency of bureaucracies in large organization. So you can state Parkinson's law whenever you talk about role of civil services. So you can say that generally civil servants at lower hierarchies, they follow Parkinson's law, right? And then you can explain Parkinson's law. That will give a little bit technical touch to your answer. Fine. Let's talk about referendum and why. And the thing is, what is referendum? You all know it is an instrument of direct democracy, right? But we don't have referendum in our country, right? We don't decide situations or solve or particular political issues by referendum. But in different parts of the world, referendum is being used. So it is a part of Indian Constitution also, because it is talking about a means of direct democracy, right? And it is a part of 15 to 19 IR also, because we'll talk about Kurdistan to Catalonia and what is happening there, and what is how referendum can solve the issue or even alleviate the issue, right? Or it can, what effect referendum will have on those areas. So let's talk about it. So referendum is a powerful tool to deepen participation and reflect public opinion in a democracy. But the thing is, it's all not goody-goody, right? Referendum has its share of issues also, right? Sometimes it reduces a very complex issue to a yes and no question. It is not like that. And you cannot have all problems solved by referendum, right? So as the Brexit referendum proved last year, referendum can also reduce layered issues such as membership of a single market into a vote on the narrower subject of immigration, right? So that is the whole issue. So rush to hold referendum from Kurdistan to Catalonia highlights the importance for nuance in such votes, right? Catalonia is in Spain, and you must, if you are a follower of Rafael Nadal, you must be knowing about Catalonia, because when he was playing in China, he was talking about Catalonia a lot, that he was very sad and all those things, right? But he won. Fortunately, he was not mentally disturbed too much, right? So the thing is, again, so rush to hold referendums from Kurdistan to Catalonia highlights the importance of nuance and such votes. You cannot have referendum in each and every issue, right? Kurdistan, it is a more legitimate issue, right? Because their repression of Kurds are happening, right? But Catalonia is more of an economic issue. So if you want to have a referendum or not, Spain is not allowing referendum, but Catalonia people are more intensifying their agitation with each passing day, right? So that is the whole issue. Again, what we have to understand from this particular article is referendum is not the solution for each and every issue, and sometimes it reduces a very layered issue to yes and no question, right? To a narrower issue, which will not solve the issue. In fact, it can aggravate the issue. So that is the whole thing. Fine. Now let's talk about Swachh Bharat Abhiyan. So again, very important issue. It is a topic and governmental policy, right? Now there are three views regarding it, right? So we'll talk about all the three views. And first view is when I've read this particular article, I realized that first view was very good. If you understand the first view point of view, it will enrich your knowledge. You will understand, it will add one more dimension to your answer, one more dimension to your knowledge. So let's talk about it. So the first view is saying that Mission for a Clean India will not work without breaking the link between caste and occupation. I will summarize it for you. So first view is generally saying that if you want Swachh Bharat Abhiyan to be successful, you have to reduce or you have to remove this notion that cleanliness or this particular thing, removal of fecals and all those things, removal of waste is a work of a particular community only. No, it is not like that. This manual scavenging has to go. Only then Swachh Bharat Abhiyan will be successful. Article 17 has to be, what do you say, applied totally, right? And it has to be enforced totally. So that is what they are saying. It is a very, very, what do you say, heart-touching means view. So let's talk about it. So they are saying that Mission for a Clean India will not work without breaking the link between caste and occupation, and generally it is a photo opportunity for most. Amitabh Bachchan, Shah Rukh Khan, and even, like, I don't want to say, but even lots of honorable ministers, they just, what do they do? Do they do the cleaning every day? Once, when all the media are there, they will do it and then they will go away, right? It's not like, it's not that. Again, they are also saying don't glorify cleanliness. It is not a work, it is not a glorification work for manual scavenger people who are going inside manholes and removing all those speakers, right? So that's what he's saying, this particular view is saying. So it is a photo opportunity for most according to this view. And he's saying that Constitution has declared abolition of untouchability in Article 17, but it is still practiced by perpetuating occupations such as scavenging. So if you're doing, what do you say, if you're promoting occupations such as scavenging, so it is a clear-cut example of, what do you say, of not implementing Article 17 or not adhering to the provisions given in Article 17. Cleaning India is not a spiritual experience, it's not a spiritual experience, and it should not be glorified. Very important line. Generally we say, cleaning India is a glorification. Why it is saying? Because he's talking about in the terms of scavenging. So he's saying that in the Indian context, manual scavenging is a misery, drudgery, and we cannot worship it, right? That's why. Also, people are not using, and again, they are saying that shaming should not be done. Public shaming, which is happening in many states, it should not be done, and they are giving a reason for it. They are saying that also people are not using toilets because they neither have access nor the capacity to use one. Campaigns should not be organized to shame them. Thing is, he's also saying that we need to do something about people dying in manholes after being ordered to clean them, right? So if you stop people from dying in manholes, then you will move one step further towards achieving the objectives of Swachh Bharat Abhiyan. Now let's talk about the second view, which will promote Swachh Bharat Abhiyan. So he's saying that cleanliness mission, sorry, I stammer a lot, sorry for that. So cleanliness mission will work because some words are tongue twister, buddy, believe it or not. So cleanliness mission will work because its success will have a liberating impact on women, right? So the thing is, they are saying that if Swachh Bharat Abhiyan becomes a success, then open defecation free India will be a reality, and that will have a liberating impact on women. So he's saying that Gandhi said sanitation even more important than political freedom, and sanitation is social transformation, and it is as, if not more, important than economic transformation. And again, he's saying that defecating in open is not a safe and viable option for women, right? Fine. Now, ongoing mass mobilization campaign Swachhata Hi Seva highlights sanitation as a real service to the nation, and we owe a Swachh Bharat to Mahatma on the occasion of his 150th birth anniversary in 2019, right? So he's talking about social transformation and what it will do on the liberating impact of women, right? It will have a liberating impact on women. It will improve their, what do you say, standing in society, right? And what is the third view? So the third view is saying that this particular, this Swachh Bharat mission has two components, right? Swachh Bharat mission rural and urban, right? And remember one thing, very important from Prelims point of view, that rural is done by not Ministry of Rural Development, it is done by Ministry of Drinking Water and Sanitation. Remember it can come handy. So the thing is, the third view is saying that skewed importance given to rural areas ignores population explosion in urban areas. Now, SBM is nothing, according to the third view, it is nothing but a repackaged scheme which was earlier known as Nirmal Bharat Abhiyan under UPA, United Progressive Alliance. And what are the issues which are plaguing SBM? So they are saying that duplicate entries, ghost beneficiaries, and missing household, some stumbling blocks in SBM as pointed by Center for Policy Research in December 2015. And because of these issues, World Bank downgraded the project. Remember this, World Bank has downgraded the project. Again, let's talk about what are the allocations which has been given to SBMG as well as SBMU. That means Swachh Bharat Abhiyan, Swachh Bharat Mission Gramin, and Swachh Bharat Mission Urban, right? So for 2017-18, Swachh Bharat Mission Gramin has been allocated approximately 14,000 crores, and for SBMU it has been allocated 2,300 crores. Remember one thing, 30% of the population lives in urban areas. So allocation should be done accordingly, right? If you think like that. But again, then you can argue that open defecation is a major issue in rural areas. So that's why maybe government is allocating accordingly. So we have different facets to this particular thing. But again, see, around 14,000 crores to Gramin areas, to rural areas, only 2,300 crores to urban areas. So again, that is an issue that more importance has been given to rural areas. It's not like urban area is totally clean, right? And we have attained everything, whatever we need to attain under Swachh Bharat mission. They are also saying that Swachh Sarvechan, which what do you say? They conduct a survey in 500 cities and then they rank them accordingly based on cleanliness. So they are saying that Swachh Sarvechan also has a slope and it needs an overhaul, and focus of Swachh Bharat mission Gramin should be on behavioral change. Again, one major issue which they have raised is guidelines require, or Swachh Bharat Mission guidelines require 8% of funds to be allocated for ICE, that is information, communication and education activities, right? But during 2016-17 up to January 2017, only 1% expenditure is made on IEC, that is information, education and communication. So that is the whole thing which they are saying. So again, this is it. So GS Mains paper 2 is done. Although this particular video is long, but I wanted to complete it in 3 videos only. So that's why this video is a little bit long. Okay, thank you.